This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. Double check notifications are on. And if you hit that like button, double check it's working properly. Because, these bad actors are working overtime, suppressing the channel, suppressing the videos, because they're terrified of more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Listen, a lot of people are a little bit concerned because the SEC put out a letter stating that they don't have funding because of the government shutdown, so they will be stopping administration proceedings, okay? Administrative proceedings, anyway. Here's the thing. A lot of people think that's going to affect the XRP Spot ETF approvals. They have nothing to do with administrative proceedings, okay? Administrative proceedings has to do with enforcement, has to do with hearings, and things like that. But not that the SEC does any real enforcement anyway, so it doesn't matter whether they have funding or not. We all know that the SEC only enforces rules when the rules cost the 1%ers money. When the 1%ers are engaging in fraud and corruption, naked shorting, spoofing, washing, dog pool abuse, the enforcement arm of the SEC does not seem to function. Okay, it does not seem to function. So for them to put out a letter telling us that they don't have the funds to do enforcement, that means absolutely nothing to retail investors, because they don't enforce anything anyway. Okay? They don't enforce anything anyway. So whether they have funding or they don't have funding, nothing changes for retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules. The SEC role that I've learned over the last 5 years is to protect the 1%ers from criminal acts by everyday retail investors, and to protect the 1%ers from crimes from other 1%ers. The SEC role is not to protect retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules from the 1%ers. Because over the last 5 years, there's been overwhelming evidence of fraud and corruption in the AMC play, the GME play, the BINI play, the NWBO play, the GNS play, and of course, the MMTLP claim. So, the SEC does not protect retail investors. They do not protect the market. So whether they have funding or they don't have funding, it doesn't matter to us. But for those of you who are concerned that this might be stopping the approvals of the XRP Spot ETFs, it has nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, being that they're short-handed, the time is going to run, and after the final dates, they're going to be automatically approved. Okay? The XRP Spot ETFs are going to be automatically be approved, and it, in my opinion, is going to cause billions of institutional money to start piling into XRP. And at that point, a majority of the manipulation is going to stop, because the SEC, the DOJ, the FBI are going to not let these criminals engage in criminal activity that's going to cost the 1%ers money. So once you have a lot of institutional money in XRP through the XRP Spot ETFs, a lot of the fraud is going to slow down. Will it stop? Of course not, because there are people who are desperate, and they will still engage in fraud, even knowing that the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI will come after them. But a majority of the bad actors are going to slow down on the manipulation, in my opinion. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think the enforcement arm of the SEC works for retail investors? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.